Alrighty, you guys, I am so excited to finally talk about Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, and I know what you're thinking. I'm obsessed with this franchise. I'm not. I only have Appa in the background. Okay, fine. I've got a t-shirt on too, sure. Okay, fine. I do have these on my desk. Take a look. It's Aang. It's so cool. Katara. Okay, I see what you're saying now. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and yes, I'm finally allowed to talk about Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, which, of course, hits Paramount Plus on July 25th at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A huge thank you to Paramount for giving me the chance to watch this early full review. This is a film that I thought would never see the light of day. I don't know why. I was getting nervous, okay? And then it didn't hit the big screen. It's hitting your screens at home. It was supposed to go theatrical and then it went streaming, which is still a shame after watching this movie. Now, you guys, I have a lot to say about this film, for better and maybe there are two things I didn't like about it. But hey, before we get into it, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I love talking about movies, TV, and all the news in between. And hey, if you are really curious about that artwork there, by the time of this recording, I would hope that the actual SuperCon recap is on the channel, so you can check it out, because that's where I got it from, Florida SuperCon. Oh my goodness, what a time was had. And I will say, if you're watching this video, you're a big Avatar fan, right? So let me know in the comments below exactly what you think of this film. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tap on that bell and thumb this video up, because it's going to help more Avatar fans find it. I got a lot of things to say. Again, I'm excited, y'all. And for those who have been sticking around the channel for a while, you know that I recently became a Tomato Meter approved critic, and they sent me some swagger, so we're going to open it up together at the very end of this review. So let's get into what the film is all about, in case you're sort of unfamiliar. The movie comes in at a cool and crisp 1 hour 38-minute runtime, and it's directed by Montgomery, who has done work on Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. More so in the storyboarding department, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, the film's voice cast is pretty cool. It's brand new. I'm not even lying. So if you came here looking for Dante Bosco, just rewatch the original series. We have Eric Nam, who voices Aang, Jessica Matten, who voices Katara, Román Zaragoza, who voices Sokka, Steven Yeun, who voices Zuko. We have Dionne Quan, who voices Toph, and Dave Bautista as Tagah. So if you are wondering about the chronology of the film, this is taking place before The Legend of Korra and after the original series, but not directly after, because Aang is all grown up. He's still the world's last airbender who learns of an ancient power that could save his culture from extinction. With the help of his friends, he embarks on a global quest to find it before it falls into the wrong hands and threatens to upend the peace they sacrificed everything to achieve. So this movie does bring in Team Avatar, except for Suki, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but it does bring in Team Avatar, and we've got a new character who is sort of like the antagonist, huh? I mean, you've seen the trailer, I'm sure, Tagah. So this is a very cool story, right? So that's maybe where we should get started with our positives. So let's get into it, you guys, because I've got a lot of good things to say about Avatar Aang. Now, the first positive I really want to dive into is this. Man, this is a near perfect beginning for Avatar Studios, and it includes so much to love with every frame from start to finish. There were moments where my jaw was on the ground. I was giddy. I had my knees up to my face thinking, like, I can't believe this is actually happening. But it wasn't just nostalgia that came into play. What they were doing in a new way worked for me too. I could not name one area of this movie that is awful. There's consistency to this film that ends up working, and I think it's thanks to the direction by Montgomery. I've been a fan of her work because she's a storyboard artist. She did some of my favorite episodes of Book 3. Now, she also did some production work with Legend of Korra, so I'm like, she knows her way around this IP. So I had confidence in her direction, and it paid off. Her and her co-directors Stephen Ahn and William Mata do an amazing job at allowing this movie to feel very large in scale. This really doesn't have the feeling of a straight-to-streaming film. I know, you're probably thinking, what's wrong with streaming? Nothing. It's just, there are a lot of movies that go straight to streaming, and they have the production quality to match, if that makes a lot of sense. There's a certain demand for a film on the big screen, at least for me. A complete story, awesome VFX, great visuals, a very large scale at times too is warranted, especially for a movie like this. And Avatar Aang really fits the bill because This feels like what it should have been, which is a theatrical release. There are a lot of fan moments in this movie too that I would have loved to see on the big screen with an audience full of fans, new and old. And that's why I was really happy and sad that this movie is being shown limited in New York and in LA for awards season, but it's not gonna be in my market and nationwide or worldwide even. Man, it would be great. Maybe this sparks something, right, you guys? But I'm excited for you to watch it because it does feel like it has that large, grandiose scale to what should be a very good film, and it is a good film. So that's the thing. It just doesn't visually look good. It actually is a solid project. But when you talk about the visuals, we got to break down the animation because it is breathtaking, and so far, this is the best animation I've seen this year. Props to the entire crew because all of the artists behind the scenes, I'm sure, were upset when the film was shrouded in a little bit of, I don't want to say controversy because it is controversial how certain things got leaked out there. But it sucked, right? It was a terrible thing for the artists to see their work unfortunately get pushed out prematurely. But, man, rest assured, their work is excellent in the final product, which is what we see here. There's a certain beauty to every frame of this movie. You can tell what was conceptualized was seen through to completion, and it's beautiful, man. There were scenes that jumped off the screen for me, and I was marveling at a lot of the establishing shots, the action, and even the moments where the art styles switch up. There's one that, well, there's a scene, I should say, where they use a certain art style, and if you're a Sokka fan or a Sokka girly, you might like it a whole lot. And speaking of our characters, the character models are beautiful in their own right. As a huge Katara fan, I loved her design here a lot. And all of Team Avatar really looks beautiful. And even our newcomer, who's now Team Avatar, I'll say that much, Tagah, he looks great too. There wasn't a single moment where I thought, what in the world is this? That's unfinished. No. I looked at everything and thought, yeah, they poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this project. Also, I want to give props to the head of cinematography here, Damon O'Byrne, and I hope I pronounced the last name correctly, but some of these shots and the way they're framed deserve to be hung in the Louvre. Seriously, I almost thought, like, I got some blank space, behind me. I'm putting up the pictures soon, and the artwork soon, I should say, of course, but man, oh man, was it beautiful. There's even one of my favorite sequences, the imbalanced spirit world, where I was having a total blast. And that's the thing, I was having so much fun, and that's because of the animation, and of course, a lot of other things, but it starts there. If the animation's bad, the movie's bad. If the animation's great, the movie has a shot at being amazing. And I'm glad it was. And it's not just amazing for old fans who have been around for a while, there's actually something for new fans here too. And we're all sort of learning together because there's an expansion of the air nomad culture and lore that I really appreciated. So I came into the film understanding, okay, they'll play catch up, which they did and it was fine, but I wanted something new to take away and they provided that. There is a nice introduction sequence to really catch up everybody, to be honest, and it was something that I thought was pretty necessary considering the gap between Legend of Korra and this movie. There are also a lot of callbacks in this film. So for the old fans, you're going to see the cabbage merchant and be like, my cabbages! And you're going to love it. And then you're going to see foamy mouthed Avatar fan person. Seriously, you know the fanboy that's like super excited and goes, "Whoa!" You know what I mean with the foam in the mouth? There, and it's perfect. There's even mention of a certain ship that fans conjured up during the original series that makes its way into this movie. And let me tell you, I was getting mad for 2 seconds until I realized, oh, they're doubling down on Katara and Aang, and I'm happy about that. Katang fans, we're here. Now, when it comes to the action in the film, because this is a big driver for a lot of fans, man, everything looked incredible. It's also awe-inspiring to see a lot of these action moments. The fight choreography looked great. I mean, goodness gracious, the bending was unbelievable, you guys, at times. But the Team Avatar showcase in the third act was really the culmination of everything we were getting, and it is just so well orchestrated. That's the thing. Each of our heroes really does get a decent amount of those hero moments, and even the villains get some time on screen too. And while it is one thing to have awesome bending abilities, we also need to be able to track the action well. And that's the case here in this film. Nothing felt very overwhelming to me, and everything actually felt easily identifiable. I could really pick up everything in an action scene, and I'm sure on rewatch I'm going to pick out some things that I missed, but it was beautiful to see this shot and not have to feel like I have whiplash and I'm looking back and forth. But it really did look great, and all of the action was very well balanced. But whether it be an action scene or a more intimate moment, none of this movie works without composer Jeremy Zuckerman's score. As you know, if you're a fan like me, he's a legend, okay? He's one of the greatest TV composers of all time. He's done Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, and now Avatar: Aang: The Last Airbender. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that the man is cooking. There are very familiar motifs from the original series, and some new themes he plays with here as well, especially when Tagah is being introduced. He perfectly captures this tone that the movie wants to go for, which is playful yet serious, because you're understanding that his story is like, hey, I'm trying to move forward and keep the peace and stuff, and Republic City and whatnot's thriving, but I still have PTSD and I miss my air nomad buddies. So he's struggling with, do I follow Tagah, do I not? And it is a really cool sort of internal battle, and the score emphasizes that. Jeremy Zuckerman is just simply excellent again, and he's one of the greatest composers, so him being in this movie and involved in this film, it really is just a perfect cherry on top to what it is an awesome cinematic looking experience. So on one hand, we're blessed with Jeremy Zuckerman's music and some amazing animation, action, and direction, but on the other hand, we're also blessed with some really capable voice actors. So let's get into this voice cast, y'all, because it is generally very solid. Now, the new additions to the voice cast, I admit, took a little getting used to in the first act. I had to sort of put aside everything I remembered from the original series, which I'm currently rewatching again because why not? And I had to sort of allow this new voice cast to take me on this ride with the adult Team Avatar, right? And I love that, actually. It was executed very well, I'd say. So once I got settled in, I felt that everyone did a very good job, but there were some standouts, starting with Román Zaragoza as Sokka. He's funny, he's zany at times, but grounded, which is literally the character of Sokka. At his core, he might be silly and overly like, hey, I am strong, to, mask the fact that I'm so sad that I don't have bending abilities. But the way that Román Zaragoza does a very good job at capturing the character, it definitely translates into the film. You could tell he was having fun with the role, but I even wanted more because he just nailed it as Sokka. There's also Eric Nam, who voices Aang, and he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I only really know Eric Nam from The Traitors. Y'all watch that show on Peacock, but man, there's this level of innocence he brings to the role here, and there's a pain in his voice as well at times, since Aang, again, like we mentioned, is dealing with some PTSD from his past, but he does a very good job at preserving Aang's genuine nature as well, and that is something that was very important for the character, and I'm glad it translated into the film. And then you have Dave Bautista as Tagah, who is supposed to be, for all intents and purposes, our antagonist. There's this intensity he brings once he's broken out of this frozen thing of ice, basically a glacier, I guess. So you're getting Aang vibes right from book one. But when Tagah's broken out, one of the first things he does when he sees Toph is say this, "Earth Nation!" Oh, like he's freaking out. But then he gets very subtle, and then he gets very quiet. And now he's on Aang's level, and I'm like, whoa, Dave Bautista, bro, we know you can act, but man, you can voice act too. And then when it comes to Dionne Quan as Toph, I found her to be very funny, similar to Sokka. And the playfulness in her voice is exactly what the character needs. Yes, Toph is growing up, but we're all kids at heart, aren't we? And she does say things like, of course, her iconic lines, I'm the greatest earthbender in the world, and Dionne Quan nails it. And there are times where she's talking with Aang and she's having a conversation, she's calling him Twinkle Toes, and it really does work for me. And Dionne Quan, you could tell, is having, again, fun with the role. And one of my last standouts here is Jessica Matten as Katara. Now, I admit, at first, it took a little, kind of warming up to, because I felt there wasn't a lot of dynamic range there for the character. Maybe more of a script thing than anything, because once we get to the second act, Katara has more to do and then begins to start acting like the glue for the group. And I've always said Katara is the most important character for Aang in his journey, of course. If not for Katara, Team Avatar would fall apart. And then we get that in the second act, and I thought, oh man, this is great. So Jessica Matten fell into the role nicely once she was given the opportunity to really put her voice acting skills on full display. Alrighty, y'all, so we've got some awesome positives that we just talked about, but it's time to get into a couple negatives for this movie because, yes, to your surprise and to mine, it ain't perfect. And that's okay. I didn't think it would be a 10 out of 10 right away, but It is still very strong. It's just these negatives that kind of hold it back from being like an A+. And we got to start with the story. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I was very interested in the story from when I watched the trailer. Now, the final product, unfortunately, feels a little too underwhelming. And I think that's because it just plays it too safe at times. I genuinely predicted every story beat that happened, and while that's not always a terrible thing, it just added to me being underwhelmed with how little tension was felt in the movie. I spoke about it with my buddy Leo Rydell over at Geekly Goods. Him and I both agreed that the stakes were never necessarily too high in the film. And by the time we get to the third act, where the villain arc is crescendoing, we depart from that very quickly, and it never has time to sort of linger and marinate. And I wanted to stay in the space. I'm not going to lie to you guys, for a little bit longer. I want to see Republic City be threatened. I want to see Aang lose a little bit of control, him and Zuko trying to vie for peace, and it just doesn't happen. But it comes and goes very quickly. And because the Legend of Korra exists, we know Aang could never truly be in danger in the film. And of course, that is the issue with setting a movie in between two series where we know the outcome. I just really wish we stayed with the ramifications of Tagah and getting certain things and making certain things happen. I'm not spoiling nothing. But when those things happen, you don't necessarily feel the ripple effect too much because they sort of bounce back and forth, and the story structure begins to get a little weird where, on one hand, we know Republic City's in trouble and Team Avatar is threatened, but we're not necessarily seeing it or feeling it as much as we should. And there is potential for that to happen in the movie, especially when we're exploring Aang's struggles with what Taga's telling him about preserving the air nomad bloodlines, and Aang being challenged with how to go about that in a morally and ethically correct fashion. To me, honestly, nothing about Tagah and this new group of antagonists called the Denied felt terrifying and worrisome. And I think that's a problem. Sure, listen, you can't expect it to be like a crazy part 1 of part 2 type of story. It was going to be wrapped up by the end, but I just kind of wanted more there. So outside of the story not necessarily always having so much emotional weight to it, there were some characters that felt a bit too sidelined for me and some that just weren't present at all. Let's start with that last part. Suki not being in this movie is a baffling creative decision for me. It seems like the original creators, Mike DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, just have no regard for Suki at all. Now, I've heard some stuff behind the scenes type of deal where they're just moving on from her because she was just supposed to be a one-time thing and came back in because of fans. Sure, I guess I can get that. But she's so integral to Team Avatar's story and even Sokka's character development that I would have loved to see her in the movie. We don't get that. We get like a glimpse of the Kyoshi warriors, but it's exactly that, a glimpse. So I definitely do not think that Suki's going to have any part to play in Avatar Studios' future projects, sadly. Now let's move on to the second character, which is one that was too sidelined for my liking, and that is Prince Zuko, who's voiced by Steven Yeun. Now, if you didn't know Steven Yeun voiced Prince Zuko, you probably would never know that was him, because he's not necessarily given too much material to work with. He's hardly in the film, and when he is, he's not necessarily always speaking, and we do get, yes, that cool Team Avatar action mashup at the end, where everyone's bending abilities are on full display, but it felt like a little too late for Zuko as a character. He is just not given enough to do in this movie for my liking, and again, I have to remember, it's the context of a film. Maybe they have a Prince Zuko solo movie coming out. Who knows? That would be cool, but I'm of the mindset that Zuko should have had a little bit more of an important role to play in this film. My hope is that in the future, there's just a better distribution of screen time for certain characters, but we do very quickly understand that this film is centering Avatar Aang and not really many other characters. So again, I guess I can't be too mad at that when the movie literally is called Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. Alrighty, y'all. Well, those are the only negatives I have, which leads me to my overall thoughts. And I will say, Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender is the greatest installment in this franchise since The Legend of Korra, and I am 100% on board with the direction of Avatar Studios. Do I have little nitpicks? Of course I do, but the goal here, if I had to make a guess, is that they would hit it out of the park, people would universally either like or love the movie, so that the future of Avatar Studios would be met with confidence, and it is for me now. The movie even leaves the door open for another incredible story to tell, so this is not just a beginning and an end, this is a beginning to something that hopefully will not end for a while. The performances were really good to great. I even love the animation, which was excellent. The score is amazing. The action is awesome. And there were some jaw-dropping moments in this movie that reminded me of why this franchise is great. And I'm glad it reminded me of why I love it so much. You know, this is just a really good sort of full circle moment, for fans of the Avatar: The Last Airbender IP. And yeah, the payoff is worth the wait, I guess, because we had to wait for this one. Yes, we did. We were patient. But man, oh man, did it work. So I'm going to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It gets a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me, and it is going to be in my top 10 of this year. No doubt about that. But I need to know what you guys think of Avatar: Aang, The Last Airbender. Get loud down below when you watch the movie and let me know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you have cabbages? Because I've lost mine. There's this little parasite outbreak thing. Okay, anyway, that's getting too realistic, right? And then when it comes to, of course, the future of Avatar Studios, you know we'll be covering it here. So stay locked in, you guys. Turn on those bell notifications. And thank you again for subscribing to the channel. We are past 32,000 subscribers and on the road to 40K. And I can't do it without your help. So I thank God for each and every one of you all. Thank you for watching. God bless y'all. And I'll catch you at the next screening. Okay, finally, I can go and hang up these things on my wall. Okay, Katara, you're going in the middle because you're the most important. Alrighty, y'all. So here's the extra footage I promised you. I got sent this package. We're going to open it together and see what's inside. I have no idea what it is. They asked for my shirt size. That means maybe a shirt. Let's take a look. Alrighty, y'all. We're opening this one up together. Again, I don't know what in the world's in it, and I hope I'm not cutting anything important. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I almost cut something important. My goodness. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Rotten Tomatoes, for sending this over and making me feel very included. That's a good word, right? I'm blessed. Thank y'all so much. Alrighty, let's take a look. What do we got here, guys? Alrighty. I see we've got a bag. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. It's like a laptop bag. Tomato meter approved critics. No kidding. This is a laptop bag for sure. Oh, man. And I needed a film journal for my notes in the screenings that I go to. And this is going to be perfect. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait. There's even a calendar all the way to 2028. Oh, my gosh. Maybe when we get the next Avatar movie. No, I'm kidding. We're going to get it before that. What else we got in here? Oh, we've got some socks. Oh, yes. I'm wearing this to my next screening. You think I'm lying? I will wear these, and I will put it on my Instagram, and you should follow me there too. That's awesome. Thank you for the socks. What else we got in this little goodie bag, man? Oh, cool. It says here, Critics Lab. Okay. Yeah, so this is something that they have as a resource for critics, of course. We've got a coaster? You're kidding me? You're kidding me. Rotten Tomatoes, I love you. This is going on my coffee table because I've got some 4Ks to watch, from the Criterion Collection sale. I gotta watch them, and I'm excited to do it, or maybe I'll just watch this movie again. But this is going to be a staple piece in my house. I love y'all. Thank you. What else? Oh, there's more here. Oh, sorry, I thought there was nothing left. There's a sticker. Oh, it's a magnet for my fridge. Guys, it's a magnet. I love fridge magnets, all right? Don't tell anyone else. I love them. It's going right on the fridge. I promise you. And we got one more thing in here. This is amazing. Oh, it's an actual sticker. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm going to use it. I should use this for my computer. Right, y'all? Why not? Yeah, I might as well. That's so dope. Now, is there anything else? There's not, and that's okay. Y'all, thank you so much. Rotten Tomatoes, I love you. All of you. Thank you for your support. You're making this possible. I love you guys. So, again, I'll sign off one more time. God bless y'all. Alrighty. This was fun. This is so cool. It's almost as big as my head.